Most of Australia is baking under an intense spell of hot and dry weather, but we are expecting further heavy rain and flooding over the next week through northern Queensland. We'll get to the forecast details very shortly. Port Douglas seen here over the weekend, one area that picked up some heavy rain, and many parts of the tropical Queensland coast have seen roughly 1,000 millimetres of rain this December. It's been one of the wettest, or the wettest December on record for this part of the country. Port Douglas again pictured there. Here are the totals across the country over the past 7 days. We have not seen any rain in Sydney. Adelaide's been dry. Melbourne's had roughly 2 millimetres of rain over the past week, but you can see the heaviest falls have been confined to the northeast corner of the tropics. That bright red shows over 300 millimetres. We've seen over 600 millimetres of rain over the past week in Cooktown and also Cairns. So heavy falls with flash flooding and river flooding in that area. We're watching a developing tropical low likely to become a cyclone. That system initially moving towards the west, making a U-turn, heading back across Cape York through the middle part of this week, delivering further heavy rain and widespread flooding. Looks like that system will then move away from the coastline. Now note for central and southern Australia, no significant rain is predicted, the exception being some showers and storms in the afternoons around the New South Wales coast and ranges. We're not expecting widespread storms or huge amounts of rain, but somewhere might pick up 10 or 20 millimetres of rain. That tropical cyclone looks like it will then make another U-turn and perhaps head back towards the Queensland coast over the weekend, making an impact around the central part of the coast. But it's a long way out, too early to say for sure exactly which part of the coastline it will impact. Let's talk totals. On Monday, light falls from storms over the central and southern part of New South Wales. Somewhere could get 20 millimetres, but 100 millimetres plus likely for northern Queensland. 6-hour totals, even up to 180 millimetres are possible over the next few days. Again, Wednesday, it's northern Queensland. That's where the heaviest rain will be. Thursday, there's no change. Friday, again, northern Queensland, perhaps easing as that system drifts out into the Coral Sea. And then rain returning to the central part of Queensland on Saturday, if it does head in that direction. Altogether over the next 8 days, most of central and southern Australia easily below 10 millimetres of rain. But for Queensland, heavy falls on the way. The black shading shows over 400 millimetres over the next week. This area is saturated thanks to recent rain, so flooding is likely for the northern tip of Cape York and down the north tropical Queensland coast, but even up to around 150 millimetres is possible for the central coast of Queensland during the second half of this week. Bushfire activity is increasing right now through eastern Australia thanks to this spell of hot and dry weather. We had a major bushfire burning on Sunday around the southern Hunter district. Take a look at these images. This is a fire burning near Waee, which is near the Lake Macquarie area, just south of Newcastle. This fire, by Monday morning, had burnt through 150 hectares, so it's a fairly large fire. Here's another shot of that fire. Pretty scary driving through that area for holidaymakers during the weekend, moving up and down the New South Wales coastline. You can see over the past week, we haven't seen rain through central and southern Australia, so the vegetation is drying out after those heavy falls we saw from thunderstorms earlier in the month. Heavy rain, though, through the northern tropics. They are out of the fire season. We're expecting another hot day today through central and eastern Australia, but note that the isobars are spaced apart. It's not particularly windy, which is why we don't have fire weather warnings in place, but we are looking at very high fire dangers. That's the yellow shading through central and northern inland parts of New South Wales, through most of inland Queensland, and small parts of northern Victoria, along with South Australia. So even though we don't have the strong winds, there's still the risk that fires will be fast-moving and difficult to control. WA, different story. We have very low humidity in that area, which is leading to some areas with a severe fire danger, mostly around the Pilbara. You can see the very hot temperatures in WA hitting the mid-40s through the northern inland on Tuesday. That's that darker red. Again, for the east, it's a heat wave, but it's not too windy, so very high fire dangers for some parts of eastern Australia, but no severe fire dangers are likely. But an extreme fire danger is likely for the Euclid district of WA. And finally, moving into Wednesday, well, again, we've got hot conditions right across the interior. Look at that large area climbing above 40 degrees, which is the darker red, including western parts of New South Wales. The fire dangers on Wednesday, though, again, below severe, so no fire weather warning for eastern Australia, but widespread severe fire dangers are likely for central and eastern parts of WA.